What's going on YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Cheap Home Finds. My name is Kay, and today we're going to talk about how I found a tiny home with 1 acre of land for $22,000. It's a hidden Zillow find. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So this property is in Colorado, okay? So it doesn't have any bedrooms or bathrooms listed here, which I'm only assuming that it could be an open floor plan situation. But I do have a lot of other questions that we'll get to in just a second. But for right now, I do want to go over some things so we know what we're looking at and what may raise red flags or not, right? So it just depends. This property is 200 square feet. So it's small, of course. It is a tiny home. As we click on this, we only see 3 pictures. So that for me, I want to see even more pictures. So realtor, photographer, whoever is taking the pictures of the home, make sure you have the inside of the home. But sometimes the owner of the property may not want to do that, or they may feel that it needs some work and they don't want to picture it for whatever reason. So keep that in mind as we're looking at these pictures that we do have. Okay, so this is the picture number 1. All I can say is look at the view, right? The view within itself is worth $22,000 in my opinion for a lifetime, right? So I love the mountains. I love, the scenery, and I love Colorado. Colorado is top 5 places I've ever been in my life, and we've traveled overseas. My husband spent 20 years in the military, so we've done quite a bit of traveling and PCSing to other countries, and Colorado is just simply beautiful, okay? And the people were personal experience, very, very nice. All right. So the mountains are really cool. The scenery, like I said earlier, is just worth that price point within itself. All right, let's go back. So this is 1 acre of land. They do have a HOA. It's $29 a month. So it's not break the bank HOA fee. However, I did want to mention that because it is here and it is listed. Okay. So this is the description of the property, and it just pretty much talks about, it says, you're just a short drive away from the National Sand Dunes, 3 different hot springs, hiking trails, off-roading, and endless outdoor adventure. Evenings bring some of the most enchanted, clear, star-filled skies in Colorado. And it goes on and on. If you are a person who, I think one of 2 people may be watching this video. You are a person who wants to kind of live off grid and do your own thing. A tiny home is something maybe that you dream of doing or having. And, living in this particular area is something that fits your criteria. I think this is for you. I also think it's for folks who may be investors and you say, hey, I can turn this into a real nice experience, maybe on Airbnb or just rent it out in general. Okay, so for those folks, for either one of those folks, this video is definitely for you because it does bring, a little bit of the best of both worlds. Let's take a minute and check out the street view and kind of get the lay of the land, no pun intended, to kind of see what is going on here, right? So the subject property that we are looking into right now is, if we can zoom in, is right here. And you can see there's a car there. Now, what I would check is, let me see. Let me go down here. I'm trying to find the road. How does one get to their property? I'm not sure. Not the road, but the driveway is what I'm trying to say. It could be a thing of like, okay, create a path and go. So you may want to look into, what is the word I'm trying to, let me zoom in for a second. Okay, so this is the subject property. Again, the views are really, really good, but you want to make sure there are no encroachments or easements here, right? So in order to get to your land, and I didn't go around, I'm just kind of looking at it from this view. In order to get to your land, I see the cars parked this way. I'm only assuming that they came from this way. So maybe if I went, let me go up the street, the dirt road, and see how it looks from here. Okay. So once again, let me make sure I don't lose track of where I am. Okay, that's that dirt road. Yeah, I don't see the entrance. So that's something, you may want to look into as far as easements are concerned to ensure that, where is your property line? And in the event that you are interested in this property, I think that a fence would do you justice, okay, to kind of split up everything and, kind of go from there. But definitely, like I say and will say on all of my videos, make sure you do your own due diligence on each and every property that I present to you on Cheap Home Finds and beyond, right? So not only this property, but all the properties I present, make sure you do your own due diligence, all right? So this is always information that I look into because it's always pretty good information, facts and features. It gives you even more info on the property, when it was built, 2016. Water is private. Okay, that's a question that I would have, especially being, it appears to be off grid a little bit. I would ask about utilities, and I'm going to show you in just a second where it does mention the utilities that are available. HOA, yes, $350 annually. So $350 a year for HOA fees. That's subjective whether that's a good thing or not. To me, it's fairly low, which is good to pay, but honestly, I don't like HOA fees at all. Zero. But to each his own, and for this deal, it may work out pretty good. The annual tax amount is $177. That's the property taxes yearly, which isn't bad either, right? That can be subjective as well. The listing terms, this is kind of important. So they accept or they allow 1031 exchange, right? Cash or conventional loans and electric utility on property. Yes, that's very major, especially for this particular listing because it's almost in the middle of nowhere, or I would say off grid. That's the best way to say it or put it. So the rent estimate for this particular property is $2,257 a month. Okay. Now, Zestimate will give you a roundabout, an estimate, their estimate for how much you can rent a property out. Of course, this property is a tiny home. It has no bedrooms or baths. So it will be pretty difficult to look at the comps in the area to try to see what are properties in the area renting for, unless there are other tiny homes in the area and you will be able to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Okay. That's very important when you're running comps to ensure that, your return on investment is there. So this property, like I said earlier, maybe for that person who just wants to live off grid and you say, hey, I really don't even care what the interior looks like. I can fix it up and live happily ever after, the beautiful views, and kind of go from there. But like I mentioned earlier, make sure you do your own due diligence on this property and all the properties that I present on the channel. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of my content and you will get alerted. Turn on the notifications as well. So you get alerted when the video comes out. All right. That's the end of my video. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so very much. In the comment section, put Zillow so I know that you made it this far, and I truly do appreciate it. Until next time, guys, you stay blessed. Peace.